So Edward Vigil is the Democrat who is running for County Commissioner, District 2 up in Alamosa County. District 2 is the one, so out of the 3 county commissioners, it's District 2, seems to be all over the place, is the one that's up for election. I guess it's staggered every 2 years. So in 2 years you're going to have District 1 and 3. In the meantime, Edward Vigil, he is vying to be one of the county kings and or queens. So Alamosa County, there is 2 men and 1 queen, so he is vying to be one of the 2 kings and the queen of Alamosa County. That's Edward Vigil. He is challenging Michael Yohn. Michael Yohn is the Republican incumbent, and then Edward Vigil is a seasoned politician who's been the state representative, who's been a county commissioner before with Castillo County, who is now in Alamosa County. He's been in the San Luis Valley his entire life. His kids are here. So he is, through and through, he is Mr. Alamosa. So Edward Vigil, his favorite word is collaborate, and he's the Democrat challenger. So it's between Edward Vigil and Michael Yohn, Y-O-H-N. And it's Edward Vigil with V-I-G-I-L. So Vigil as in, Mexico. But that's G and that's X. Both G and X in Spanish is an H. That doesn't make any sense. Mexico, Vigil, and why not Vigil? It looks like Vigil. Vigil, no, Vigil. All right, Spain. And then the Spanish were the most barbaric of all the conquering Germanic tribes. So, Mexicans, I love you Mexicans. Mexicans, you guys are wonderful. I don't give a shit about your Spanish tongue. I don't care about the Spanish. They were barbarians. Goddamn fucking Pizarro and all the rest of these sons of Coronado. These are not heroes. These are not good people. These were rapists, conquistadors, sons of bitches. So, no, I am not happy with my own English tongue. In fact, I am like, why don't I speak German? I used to speak Plattdeutsch. I used to speak Lower German. But now our people, because of, the goddamn English-speaking fucking Protestants, the Anglo-Saxon race, which are just Germanic tribes, bunch of Germanic tribes, the Franks, the French, that's a Germanic tribe. Anglo-Saxons, the English are Germanic tribes. Spanish, fucking Dutch, all of these motherfuckers are Germanic tribes, so they're all Germanic, so the Spanish were the most barbaric of all of them. The French are actually kind of friendly with the Native Americans in Kentucky. When they were, bartering and trading, there was a sense of fairness with the French trading post, but the Spanish, they just raped and murdered and pillaged and didn't give a flying fuck, so fuck the Spanish conquistadors, and fuck the culture of the Spanish conquistadors. That being said, vote for Edward Vigil. Edward Vigil is the man. He is going to be a better county commissioner than the one that's in there. He actually gives a damn about poverty. He actually cares about the roads and the social services. And he's got a vision. He wants to finance the Economic Development Board, so he's a capitalist and a socialist, whereas Michael Yohn is neither. Edward Vigil says that you can count on him, that he's dependable. I believe him, so Edward Vigil's dependable. He's born and raised here, so there's his kids. He's got a lot of dogs in the fight. He says Alamosa County is a one-night town. People come in for one night, then, skedaddle, get the fuck out of Dodge, and then they leave. Edward Vigil wants to change that. He wants to bring in hemp. He says hemp is going to be, the bee's knees. It's the golden crop that's going to make all the farmers and ranchers in the area rich as fuck. Not marijuana, but hemp. Not the flowers filled with THC, but the stalk of marijuana that doesn't have any THC. And we're going to keep that definition. That definition is going to stay the exact same. However, Amendment 64 defined hemp, that's how we're going to keep it. Why the fuck you changing the 2012? What the hell? Is this a test? Are y'all testing us? So there's barley and potatoes and alfalfa crops. So, hemp, barley, potatoes, alfalfa. These are just, the alfalfa is basically the crack of the San Luis Valley next to heroin. And, of course, heroin is chasing the dragon. So Edward Vigil's answer to the solution of Alamosa County's massive amounts of poverty was a better answer than Michael Yohn's. He's sitting there saying that it's the job of the county commissioners to distribute social services, which he's right about. Edward Vigil also says that we got to combat homelessness. Unprovoked, he just mentioned it. We got to combat homelessness, of course we do, and poverty. So he introduced another vulnerable group in Alamosa County to the discussion on his own without me even asking him. He just did it. So he's most likely going to do something about poverty and homelessness, because Michael Yohn, he actually pretended that the poverty wasn't a big deal. It's here, but it's like, well, you know, the unemployment rate was great, so he's pretending that if you wanted a job, then you got a job. And some people have to get 2 or 3 jobs, and that's how you get yourself up out of poverty, right? Just by working a bunch of shit jobs for the rest of your fucking life. Working at McDonald's and working at Arby's. And then one day, you'll be rich. Then you'll own an Arby's, right? Just magically. If you just work there for 50 years, maybe you'll own one. Probably not, right? So, Edward Vigil is more socialistic. He's talking about social services, talking about homelessness, housing. He's talking about housing. He's talking about a medical center or a rehab, and he's talking about spending some money distributing social services. Michael Yohn eventually admitted that there's $16 million worth of social services that they spend. So even though he didn't really care about the roads, Michael Yohn kind of laughed about the roads. Oh, Roy over there, he wants roads. Roy, why'd you ask me about them damn roads, huh? He's kind of an old relic, too. He doesn't seem to, he says economic. Both of these assholes said economic, so they're both stuck up and, college-educated, stuck-up assholes. But then Michael Yohn also said, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? So he's going to try to do this colloquial, hey, I'm just, farm boy kind of talk, and then going around saying economic. Well, I'll tell you how y'all doing. You guys are a bunch of stuck-up economic fucking developers. That's, working class, it's economic. That's how the worker class says economic. So, I much rather, pronounce the goddamn word the way it's supposed to be fucking pronounced. Is it pecans? Oh, pecans! Are you a fucking stuck-up, goddamn queen? Are you a fucking asshole? Get the fuck out of my face then, because it's a pecan, and it's economic development, and let's, not make words sound more pretentious than what they already do. Now, my problem with Edward Vigil is my same problem with Steve Cordova. It's my same problem with all these Democrats, Donald Valdez, because they are not being courageous when it comes to standing up against poverty and homelessness and the economic problems. Because the economic problems, it's all about the fucking economics. Every single one of those 3 Democrats I just mentioned, Edward Vigil, Steve Cordova, and Donald Valdez, this is the opposition party, right? These are the opponents. These are the ones that provide a different narrative than what the Republicans provide. And what are the Republicans going to do about the war on drugs? Keep it, and then escalate it, make it worse than what it already has been, so just ramp it up, because it's been such a great, wonderful success. So it's not even the war on drugs, they're talking about opioids. It used to be called morphine 100 years ago. Morphine is addictive. People like their drugs. People love to feel good. People don't like to feel pain. So maybe drugs are just fucking awesome, right? Why do we got drugstores? Why do people, go get pain pills? If you're in pain, shouldn't you be allowed to get something that makes you get out of pain? And it's your own damn body. Aren't we Americans? Don't we have a right to our own bodies? No, we don't have a right to our own bodies? Oh, okay. The government has a right to our bodies? Fan-fucking-tastic. Wherever Americans, the way we would just give up a right to our own body. So, the Edward Vigil, he's going ahead and trumpeting the same Republican line. This is a 1971 Richard Nixon war on drugs, right? So these are marijuana reactionaries. Oh, it's the damn marijuana, right? It's all about the marijuana. But it's not about the marijuana. Here are 9 more pressing problems in poppy fields, okay, in the San Luis Valley. You got overreach by the local governments with overzealous and insecure planning and zoning commissions. You got water scarcity. You got very frigid, cold, year-round temperatures. So it's freezing cold. You need heat, and you need clothing, and you need blankets. Water scarcity. You need water. You need to be able to get the water. You need hydroelectric dams. You need canals, and you need ponds, and you need to be able to collect rainwater and be able to, clean the water up. There's no industries. The Industrial Revolution went ahead and skipped over the San Luis Valley. There's no great jobs. There's only crap, shitty jobs, bunch of minimum wage jobs out here, no seating programs for small businesses, so you're forced to work a shitty job at some Arby's corporation, which, I like Arby's, and if the bosses aren't assholes, then I probably could work for you all. But That shouldn't be all that's being provided. I mean, this is America. We should have massive technology and information and internet, and, you know, this should be the Silicon Valley. We should be the Napa Valley. We should use the marijuana and just fucking turn our shit around. It's the poorest goddamn county in the entire state of Colorado. They're not capitalizing it. At least not Alamosa is not capitalizing off of the marijuana. Everybody should be capitalizing off the marijuana. There's no new housing. There's a bunch of crime and corruption, and there's lots of fucking poverty for the young and the middle aged and the old, even the elderly. There's 10-20% elderly poverty, 20-30% child poverty. So these are regular, you know, these are statistics that they've known for decades, not just the last 6 years. It hasn't been since marijuana got legalized. All of a sudden, poverty got here. Poverty's been around here for the 50, 60, 70 years. Everybody's been around here. They haven't done shit about it. They don't have a fucking comprehensive plan. There's a bigger goddamn issue, more than the war on drugs, than opioids and morphine and poppy fields. And if you're being serious about getting rid of the heroin, then you need to stop the people raising the poppy fields. I haven't seen any poppy fields, and I haven't heard about anybody getting busted by the poppy fields. And if it's the cartel, you need to go after those big kingfishers. You want to stop the war on drugs? You know, we're just going to go after these fucking poor people around here? It's just, that's what the war on drugs is. It's a war on the American people. It's a war on the poor people. It's a war on the working class. It's just another fucking reason for the police to fuck with us. There's a war in the streets, a war in the Middle East. They don't have a war on poverty, but they do got a war on drugs, so the police can bother me. That's Tupac, 1995, and over 23 years ago. 1995. There's a war in the streets. There's a war in the Middle East. There's no war on poverty, but they got a war on drugs so the police can bother me. There's plenty more reasons, plenty more pressing problems in Alamosa than drugs. There's no universal health care, wasteful war on terror spending. So really, I mean, all the poverty, it's not just the 27% poverty or the 21% poverty or the 15% elderly poverty. No, it's opioids, right? Morphine. It's all about the morphine. So I don't believe Edward Vigil or Steve Cordova or Donald Valdez when it comes to that. The economics is the most important thing. The poor kids, there's so many poor old people that are poor, there's middle-aged people, and then there's kids that are poor. So many fucking poor people here in the Tri-County area of Alamosa, Conejos, and Castillo County, with Castillo County having the worst child poverty of all three of the counties. So there's something, you know, that the Alamosa County can be happy about. They don't have the same dismal numbers. It's only 27% child poverty in Alamosa County versus 28% in Conejos County and 33% in Castillo County. 1 out of every 3 kids in Castillo County has been given a death sentence called poverty. Their parents have had it, their grandparents, they're having it, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It's the same shit. It's the same deal, and it doesn't change. So they've got to be, you know, attacking poverty with everything that they got. They got to get, you know, everything I just mentioned here: healthcare, housing, water, industry, great jobs. We need to have the local governments allow them to, you know, spur development, have coupon day, allow people to build sheds. This is the day everybody can build a shed if you want to build a shed in March, okay? You could do things like that. You could use discretion. And the freezing cold, crime, corruption, we could do so much more. So much more. Industry, bring in factories, bring in great jobs, right? Poverty, actually have a plan to do something about the poverty. Give a damn about each other. We can start giving a shit about one another. That'd be, you know, there'd be a change right there. But if we could worry about the water, the clothing, and the food, and the housing, make sure people are living, you know, at the very least, they're guaranteed life. If you were born in the San Luis Valley, you should be guaranteed life. But instead of guaranteeing anybody's life, they're going ahead and saying, you know what, we're going to go ahead and hurt the people with the opioids. Well, there's a lot of old people in pain, and you think you're doing a good job by, you know, attacking these big companies and shit, suing them and whatnot, but how are the old people going to get rid of their pain? Pain pills that gets rid of pain. And that's everybody, you know, to pursue our own happiness. Everybody gets to pursue our happiness the way we want to pursue it. And if I want to live a pain-free life, who the fuck are you to tell me that I got to, what, endure my pain? There's something out there that could get rid of my pain, but you're going to tell me I got to what, just sit here in agony with fucking back pain for the rest of my life? That's torture. That's torture. So, yeah, that's a little bit about Edward Vigil. And, Not much about Michael Yohn. He said Economic Development Board, but he wasn't really interested in raising the funding for it. So it doesn't seem like he's neither capitalist nor socialist. He did say one thing that I'll give him credit for. He had said that most of the initiatives comes from the citizens, not from the government. So maybe he's just, one of the best Democratic Republicans out there, a person who just listens to what the citizens make him do, and then he doesn't go any farther. So that means if I want Michael Yohn to go any distance, then I have to put some pressure on him. And but if I had a choice between Edward Vigil or Michael Yohn being in the post, Edward Vigil is both capitalist and a socialist. So I like anybody with a shred of common sense realize that we need some kind of synthesis between those two, a synthesis between communism and capitalism. So that's what we've been doing here anyways. We don't even really do capitalism as best as we can. We have cobbled together a bunch of interstates and army bases, Social Security checks, Medicare, Medicaid, parks, public schools, elementary, middle, high school, post offices, help, with the student loan industry. So there's a lot of things that government does do that's socialistic, capitalistic too. Which are we? I don't think we've actually made a decision on this. I think actually we have. We decided a long time ago we're both capitalist and socialist. We're right down the middle. And Edward Vigil is pushing our socialistic values and our capitalistic values. So he seems to understand that balance, whereas Michael Yohn isn't even pushing them the capitalist, the economic boards. He's not, financing them anymore. $6,000 is all they're going to give to their economic board, whereas the city is giving like $15,000. So I actually personally applaud that, because until everybody has a chance at life, you're going to try to push the capitalistic free market to churn out good ideas. That's not fair to the poor. It's not fair to the working masses, and it's not fair to the homeless. The working masses, my God, the poor and the homeless don't stand a chance, but the working class, the working man don't stand a chance whatsoever. So that's a little bit about Michael Yohn and Edward Vigil.